Help.
Engaged.
Welcome back everyone. So we have a couple of side quests to take care of, as well as the main quest. In this episode, we will concentrate on the side quests. Let's take a quick look at the map, to refamiliarize ourselves with the local area, and find out where these quests are located. We will be heading to the left-hand side of the map, inside the Yaozhao district. Darrow's contact is waiting on the roof, which seems a little strange. Don't people meet in cafes anymore?
Let's hope he's as good as they say.
Talking to herself, and meeting on rooftops. Yep, the bitch is definitely crazy.
Mr. Jensen, right? Thank you for your time. I am Meng Yao, an associate of Mr. Darrow's. I'm in charge of one of his divisions here in Hengsha. You come highly recommended.
Really?
Your boss described you as a most precious asset. Apparently, you are very efficient and always get the job done. We could definitely use a man like you for this operation.
What operation?
We need you to help us stop a group of terrorists who are threatening the Panchaea project. Are you up to it?
Okay, I'll help out.
Excellent. Here's the situation. It has come to our attention that these terrorists possess highly classified proprietary information about Panchaea. We've been able to convince them to sell it to one of our agents, a man named Lo Fei. The meeting is supposed to take place near the Alice Garden pods in the Daigong district.
And you want me to crash this meeting?
Actually, there will not be a meeting. We are sending you alone to ensure Mr. Fei's safety. The terrorists will not be expecting that, and will have the information with them on a data chip. You have to neutralize all of the sellers and retrieve the chip so you can bring it to me.
I don't get it. If Fei set up the meeting, why risk sending me in his stead? Why doesn't he or even some of your other agents drop in on the sellers and take the chip?
Because Mr. Darrow wants an absolute guarantee that there will be no casualties. We will not play by their rules. We want them arrested and questioned, then properly prosecuted and sentenced. This will require stealth and efficiency. That's why a man with your particular skills will be indispensable.
Anything else I need to know?
The sellers are expecting Mr. Fei and Mr. Fei alone. If they spot you, they will shoot on sight. Need I point out this might make your job a lot harder?
Story of my life.
We need to make our way towards the right-hand side of the map, just below the Alice Garden pods. In fact, right next to the location where we rescued that kidnapped prostitute, in our first ever side quest in Hengsha. But before we do, let's head towards the butcher shop, for our other side quest. From this location, you can get to it real quick. Just make a left turn as soon as you enter this area. After you read the pocket secretary, you will have to search for the location where Zelazny is hiding. As it so happens, it is right next to the location for the first side quest. How convenient.
Access granted.
Before we go there, let me show you the location of the second merchant in this area. You have to go past the downtown apartments to get there.
滴水之恩，但涌泉相报。
First we sell what we don't need. And then, we buy anything useful.
Yeah, I will be right here.
So let's cut straight to where we need to go. Here it is on the map, basically, to the right of the Hengsha Hotel. We have to take down 5 hostiles in this area. But we have to be patient if we want to be stealthy. Keep an eye on that solitary fracker over there, as he does turn around at some point. Moving forward here will cause this guy to start his patrol. Take him down at your convenience. Make sure to move him out from the line of sight of the solitary fracker. Just 2 frackers left. This is almost too easy, we just have to wait for the energy cell to recharge. Well, that takes care of one side quest. Now time for the other, which happens to be right here. There are two ways to approach this Ilosny guy and his crew. You can either talk to him, or just knock them all out with a stun or gas grenade. But I think it is more interesting if you talk to him.
They send you?
If you're talking about your former buddies at Bell Tower, the answer is no.
Wait a minute. You're Jensen, right? I heard that some of my former buddies have been looking for you.
Could be. What's it to you?
When a stranger sojourns with you in your land, you shall not do him wrong.
You've dropped the merc gig to become a man of the cloth?
Hardly. I just have an interest in theology. And I love quoting the book. Everything in it is so evocative. Now, tell me, are you here to stop me?
That I am.
Then perhaps you should reconsider. There are many of us, and only one of you. At this moment, my men and I have no quarrel with you. So you don't have to die for a war that isn't yours.
Remember, one typhoon can kill all of them, if you decide to fight.
I said I was here to stalk you, not fight you. A friend of yours sent me to convince you to turn yourself in.
Let me guess. Dr. Wing, right? He's a good man. And I know he's only trying to do what he thinks is right. But he doesn't quite grasp the whole picture here.
Then why don't you enlighten me? Start by explaining why you went rogue.
When an average man decides he no longer shares his employer's views and opts to leave, we say he's handing in his resignation. When men like us do the same, it's called going rogue. You can't quit a job like ours, Jensen. You know that.
Yeah, okay, I can relate. But you still haven't answered my question. And what do you mean when you say you no longer share your employer's view?
Back in the US, when I first got into the Army, I did it because I wanted to serve my country. I believed in its values. I believed in its government. Back then, I believed that by serving my government, I was serving the people it was supposed to protect.
Nice sentiment. But you don't work for the US anymore, you work for Bell Tower.
Times change, Jensen. You know the story. Capitalism's final encroachment on one of the most lucrative industries in the history of mankind. War got privatized. The US military offloaded its special operations to PMCs like Blue Water Global and Bell Tower. I believed that as long as they were working for the government, they were serving the same cause. So when they offered me the chance to work on major operations at twice the pay grade, I made my jump.
Why don't we just skip to when things went sour?
Bell Tower outfitted us with top-notch augmentations. The kind of stuff civilians never hear about. Gave us a massive edge over the enemy. Later, seeing as my unit was one of the most successful ones, they selected us for a special program. Top secret, experimental tech. Told us we would get to work on critical black ops for the US government. But there was a price to pay.
Go on.
We had to be implanted with a neural hub that manipulates memory centers in the brain, basically controlling what you can and cannot remember.
And you agreed to this?
Beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ravenous wolves. The augmentation was supposed to keep us safe, make sure we'd never remember details if we fell behind enemy lines. That was the main function. The second one, the one they didn't tell us about, was to lower our inhibitions. Make us more receptive to orders we'd likely disobey. Bell Tower turned us into the perfect mercs.
If you were so perfect, and the hub made you so perfect, how did it fail? How come they didn't outfit the whole agency?
I told you the tech was experimental. After a couple of ops, I started experiencing memory shifts, remembering bits and fragments of past operations. Slowly, I realized some of these operations couldn't logically have been orchestrated by the government, and I was asked to do highly questionable things, even by professional standards.
Aren't we all?
Not like this, Jensen. Our services have been sold to corrupt officials in the American and Chinese governments. A combination of lies and use of the neural aug made sure we complied. We were working for a shadow government. Individuals corrupted by a quest for personal power.
So how'd you get out of it?
I confronted the project director. He quoted Apocalypse Now. You have to have men who are moral, and at the same time who are able to utilize their primordial instincts to kill without feeling. I forced him to disconnect the hub, for me and my squad mates here. And then I killed him. I went through his files and contacts. I know who these corrupt men are now. They've turned us into killing machines, and now they'll get to experience their experiment firsthand.
I say, let the corrupt frackers die.
Dr. Wing said our situations would resonate. I don't think he realized it might go both ways. Some men deserve the justice we bring on them. Do what you have to do, Zelazny. I won't get in your way.
I appreciate that, Jensen. I didn't want you to die for a cause that isn't yours. These men I killed, and these men I'm going to kill. They have names, families, they're people. Their deaths shouldn't be erased from my memory by some electronic software. They should haunt me, taunt me, until I finally meet our Lord and pay for my sins. But the men behind this, they deserve to die. And I think there's poetry in the fact that they engineered their own demise.
When you leave the sewers, you will get a message from Zelazny.
Hey, Jensen. Zelazny here.
Zelazny? How'd you get this frequency?
You're no stranger to top-secret augmentations, Jensen. You figure it out. In the meantime, just want to let you know I've contacted some of my old pals at Bell Tower. Got them to reassign a couple of local patrols. You should have a few less problems to deal with for a while.
Thanks.
Don't mention it.
A fat lot of good that will do, since I have already knocked all of them out. Anyway, if you like this video, then please comment, thumbs up and subscribe. And I will see you soon. Goodbye.